Episode 0. Why the Moon Sets the Pace. I speak this letter before the first full moon. Not to persuade, not to argue, but to set a rhythm. This is Lunar Notes, Letters from Exile, a full moon practice. And before we begin, I want to say something plainly. I am not here to keep up. I will not produce weekly commentary. I will not react in real time. I will not translate my life for systems that have already decided what to do with it. Instead, I am choosing the moon. Because the moon refuses urgency. It waxes. It withholds. It reveals slowly. And the truth, I have learned, often needs time before it can be spoken clearly. I speak from a place shaped by exile. Not exile as metaphor, exile as condition. Exile is what happens when housing is not secure, when work disappears without warning, when the ground beneath your life is contingent on systems that do not know your name. Exile is material. It is economic. It is bodily. It is the quiet calculation of how long you can stay where you are. It is the sound of packing before you are ready. It is the knowledge that safety can be revoked. Exile is what happens when belonging becomes conditional. And when you live inside that condition, the body learns. You learn which rooms are safe, which questions are traps, which silences carry more wisdom than explanation. And if you live long enough in that condition, you learn something else. Speed is not freedom. Speed is exposure. We live in a culture that rewards immediacy. Immediate opinion, immediate response, immediate certainty. But immediacy can also be a form of capture. The poet and thinker Fred Moten teaches us that fugitivity is not escape. It is refusal. Refusal to be fully captured by systems that cannot recognize our humanity. To live fugitive is not to disappear. It is to remain in relation while protecting the interior life. To study together. To move carefully. To refuse the demand that everything meaningful must be made visible. And then there is James Baldwin. Baldwin reminds us that the greatest danger in this country is not only cruelty, it is innocence. The insistence of not knowing, the refusal to see what is already clear. Moral clarity is not loud, it is steady. It is the quiet refusal to pretend confusion when human dignity is at stake. And I carry with me the wisdom of Gloria Anzaldúa. She wrote from the borderlands, those places where identities collide, where languages mix, where belonging is never simple. For Anzaldúa, exile was not only political, it was spiritual. She called us to a practice of spiritual activism, the slow work of transforming ourselves so that we do not reproduce the violence we are resisting. Transformation, she taught, is slow. Borderlands' wisdom cannot be rushed. And still, there must be something that keeps us alive inside all of this. The poet Ross Gay reminds me that even under pressure, even in the midst of constraint, there are small shared practices that make life bearable. A meal, a laugh that escapes anyway, a hand brushing another hand, the brief, unexpected kindness that does not ask for proof. This is not denial. It is sustenance. It is how we refuse to let collapse take everything. So this podcast moves slowly. Not because the world is calm, but because the world is not. Each month, under the full moon, I will offer a single letter. No arguments, no persuasion, no calls to action. Just witness. A letter shaped by the cycle that came before it. Sometimes the letter may be tender. Sometimes it may be sharp. Sometimes it may simply sit with a truth that refuses easy resolution. You are not required to agree. You are not required to respond. But if you are someone who has learned to scan a room before sitting down, if you know that visibility and safety are not the same thing, if you are carrying something heavy and still choosing somehow to remain open, you already understand why this practice exists. This is not an escape from the world. It is correspondence from within it. From the underside of the month. From the quiet study halls of fugitivity. From the borderlands where transformation is still possible. From the small, shared gestures that keep us human. The moon sets the pace. And we will begin with the next full one. This letter is complete. I release it back to the dark. Until the moon is full, move carefully. And may you know where you are safe enough to stay.